Let's talk about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You might have heard it called BJJ or maybe the gentle art. But that name is kinda deceiving because this is a system that's really all about leverage, control, and dominance. And honestly, it completely changed the game when it comes to the world of fighting.
At its very heart, BJJ tries to answer this age-old question, right? In a real fight, what's more important, skill or just pure, raw size? Can a smaller person who knows what they're doing actually beat a bigger, stronger opponent? Well, the entire art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was basically created to scream yes at that question.
And this guy right here, this is Helio Gracie, one of the masterminds behind BJJ. He's the one who really lived that yes. His whole philosophy wasn't about meeting fire with fire or strength with strength. No, it was about making strength totally irrelevant. He thought that if you go into every situation assuming you're at a disadvantage, you have no choice but to perfect your technique. And that, right there, is the secret sauce.
So, what is the core promise of this art? What does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu actually bring to the table that makes it so darned effective, especially when you're facing someone bigger than you?
Okay, so here's the deal. BJJ is a ground-based grappling art. It's built on a really simple but honestly profound idea. Most fights, one way or another, end up on the ground. And once you're on the ground, a smaller person can use leverage and smart positioning to completely shut down a bigger person's advantages. We're not talking about punching or kicking here. This is all about getting total control. And this is the absolute key. BJJ wants the fight to hit the mat. See, when you're standing up, a bigger person has all the cards. More reach, more power, it's just physics. But the second that fight goes to the ground, all those advantages just shrink. The entire game changes. It stops being about who's stronger and starts being about who's smarter.
But wait a minute, how did an art with Japanese roots become this massive Brazilian thing? The story of how it all started is actually one of the coolest bits of martial arts history. And it all begins with one guy's journey from Japan all the way to Brazil.
So the story kicks off back in 1914. A Japanese judo master, Mitsuri Omeda, comes to Brazil. He ends up teaching his art to a kid named Carlos Gracie, who then teaches his brothers. Now, the innovator, the real game changer, was his youngest brother, Elio. Elio was small, he was frail, and he just couldn't pull off a lot of the powerful throws. So what did he do? He was forced to get creative. He tweaked the techniques, focusing almost entirely on ground fighting and leverage. Fast forward decades later, and his son Royce Gracie steps into the first ever UFC and just dominates everyone, showing the whole world just how unbelievably effective his family's art really was.
Helio's physical challenges really caused this huge split from its judo roots. Think of it like this. In judo, the main goal is that big, decisive throw. The idea is to win the fight the second your opponent's back hits the mat. Game over. But in BJJ, the takedown is just the beginning. That's just getting the fight to where you want it to be. The real goal is to get to the ground, lock down a dominant position, and then slowly and methodically work your way to a submission.
So what makes BJJ tick? What makes it work so well? Well, it's not just a grab bag of random moves, it's actually guided by this really clear strategic philosophy. A lot of people call it physical chess, and for a very good reason. Strategy is everything.
The whole philosophy really rests on three main pillars. First, and this is a big one, position before submission. What that means is you get to a safe, controlling spot, like the mount position, before you even think about trying to finish the fight. Control comes first, always. Second, be efficient with your energy. Don't try to muscle everything. You use leverage, you use timing, you use technique. That way, you can outlast a stronger, bigger opponent who's just burning through their gas tank. And third, never stop learning. BJJ is always changing, always evolving. You have to stay open-minded and grow with it. And today, BJJ has grown so far beyond those early days in a single gym in Brazil. I mean, it's exploded into this global phenomenon, and it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. On one side, you've got the sport. BJJ is this massive competitive scene now. You've got these huge international tournaments like the World Championships drawing thousands and thousands of athletes. They're all there, testing their skills against each other under a strict set of rules, fighting for points, advantages, and of course, that tap out.
But then you've got the other side of the coin, BJJ for its original purpose, self-defense. You see programs like Gracie Combatives, which boiled the art down to its most crucial, life-saving techniques for a real-world violent situation. In fact, this system was so effective that it was originally created to completely overhaul the U.S. Army's hand-to-hand combat training. That tells you something.
And for most people who stick with it, BJJ just becomes a lifestyle.
I mean, it's an unbelievable full-body workout. It's an amazing stress reliever because it forces you to be 100% in the moment. It teaches you humility because, trust me, you're going to tap out a lot, but that builds a growth mindset. And more than anything, it creates this incredible, tight-knit community. It's like a family you build on the mats.
So we end up right back where we started. The whole idea of BJJ is that intelligence, patience, and good strategy can and will overcome brute force. In a world that so often celebrates just being the biggest and the strongest, maybe the greatest lesson the gentle art has to offer is that true strength isn't found in aggression, it's found in control.